here's a chilly little morning. Turtles are kind of laying low right now. And I'm gonna have to come in here and probably start moving some of these guys. Right, look at these guys. So cool, huh? Not happy? Hey, good morning. This is Ed over at Team Aquascape. We are day 3 over at Kamp Kenan Recreation Pond Project. This will be completed in February when we have our army of CACs coming down, but for right now, we are working on the next steps. Over the past couple days, we did the excavation. We got our liner in place. We have an under drain that's going underneath everything, and that's because of the high groundwater that's here in Florida. We got mountains of soil all over the place, so I want to try to clean all this stuff up today, but we can't clean this stuff up until we change some of these walls. So here's an existing retaining wall over in here. We're gonna pull those out and kind of come in at a little bit more of an angle because we need to open up a little bit more real estate for our wetland filter, which is going right where that Cat 308's sitting. This section of fence, this all has to come out. We just turned off the electric fence, so we're gonna probably open this up a little bit more, come in here with some of those big timbers. Once this is done, then we can come in to our appropriate elevation, fill all this in with soil. Right now what we're doing is we're over by his natural pond. So this pond, really cool, loaded with all types of really cool, interesting turtles from around the world. What we're doing is we're pulling out some of the sediment that has accumulated down in the bottom. So if you look at this edge, you can see that this has eroded away over time. And that's because this pond fluctuates according to the rainy season. So right now, dry season down here in South Florida, water level is down probably 36 inches at least. So the water level normally is gonna be way up in here. So what that does, exposes this entire bank over here during the dry season. And then when it does start to rain, it just washes this stuff down into the bottom and it gets rid of the depth. So this is getting shallower and shallower over the years, and that's because of all the heavy erosion. You can look all the way around that perimeter. Back over here, it's not too bad because he's got a lot of those cypress trees. Look at that, cypress knees and all that stuff popping up, just so cool. But what that's doing is it's stabilizing all this stuff. That's protecting this shoreline from further erosion. He's also done some riprap over on that side, but this whole section over in here, completely exposed, so it's causing trouble. So what we're trying to do is pull out some of that sediment, reestablish it up on the side. While we're doing that, Nick and Udi are starting to bring in our pilings. So the reason we're doing this right now is once we get this wall built, our axis is gonna be totally gone. Nice to have the Cat equipment here on site. We got the Cat 308, has nice reach, perfect machine for this project. There they are bringing in some of those timbers. So what we're gonna do as soon as Chris is done pulling out some of that sediment, we're gonna dig a trench all the way along here to put those pilings in place. And remember, I have to build up all the way up here, basically as high as this fence post, to create a berm all through this area that's gonna house our wetland filtration system for that awesome pond. Backfilling process, bringing in material on both sides. We dug that trench to set those down a few feet, and now we're starting to bring up the elevation on both sides. Nick's over here pulling more material out of the bottom, compacting that as he's moving along. And then what we'll probably end up doing, talking to Kenan, once we get some of our stone, we'll be able to sit our machine up here. We'll probably drop in some boulders and stuff like that on the other side of that wall just to stabilize everything. All right, Kenan and I and Tom are heading out to go look at some stone at the quarry, but give us a little bit of background where we're going.
Well, yeah, man, this is basically historic Florida. I mean, it's all slash pine, and they call this pine glades because there's some hammocks of dry land where the pine and palm trees grow, and then you'll have these glades, which are the flooded prairies. I could just take the Jeep out. It's empty. If you just pan over here, you can just kind of get a look as to what Florida really looked like.
Oh, wow,
you know, it's
that,
just
man.
Really cool.
What do you think?
I'm pretty excited that this place is so close to me. And what I like about this is all the little fossils of sea creatures that are in it, you know, so it just shows you that Florida was once at the bottom of the ocean. And I kind of like this because it's native to where I'm from. What's neat is the plant life will kind of grow on it. So we can plant bromeliads, we can plant all kinds of interesting plants that'll creep over this. And after a couple of years out in that Florida sun, the mildew, the mold, all that good stuff will get on it, algae, and it just makes it look like it's been there forever.
Totally cool stuff. We got a range of sizes here. What's nice about this is they actually have tags on these rocks so you can see the weight. 1,400 pounds, 60 pounds. This guy over here is 340. That one's 700. So it gives us a good range. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna come in, we're gonna get a bunch of this random stuff. They have great selection out here. Actually, they got mountains. I mean, literally mountains and mountains of stone all over the place, all different sizes, all different shapes. It's gonna be perfect for the rec pond that we're doing out here. Hit the jackpot over here.
Oh man, this is amazing, man. This is what I was envisioning.
Yep.
You know, there's flat pieces, you know, little sediment that'll just get rinsed off and become part of the ecosystem. But I mean, these are beautiful pieces.
They sure are. I love it. Oh, there's a machine. Look at that thing. Oh, that's what they use for excavating out here. A little bit too big for our projects though. The retaining wall is complete. So we built all that stuff up here this morning. Looks really cool. Random big pilings going in there. So it kind of keeps the theme of some of the original stuff that he had here. Chris right now moved that one big pile of soil that we staged there yesterday. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here, compact all of this, move the rest of this material as well, and then we're gonna mark out our wetland filter, then we'll start the excavation. Aqua blocks are in. We are just going to be doing our plumbing connections here next, and then we are ready for our river rock. Here's our rock delivery. A little bit snug, but he's got her. Oh, nice. We got some big guys in there. Oh, they're stuck in there. They're wedged in there pretty good. There it is. Once it starts going. First rock is strapped. The most important rock of the project right there. Number one going in. It's gonna set the entire stage for everything. Check this stuff out. Really cool local Florida stone coming from about 25 miles from here. All right, let's take it down to that deep spot. Job site logistics at its finest, bringing in materials, mountains of stone. Access is always an issue, especially on a project of this scale. We dug up everything, so we've cut off a lot of locations. Here's all of our boulders. This is what they call a 12 to 24 inch. These are gonna range anywhere from like 50 pounds up to about 400. These guys over here are 24 to 30s. These ones are gonna range from 400 pounds up to about 1,500. So we got a good mixture of stuff over in here. Nick is bringing our gravel in. Chris is staging rocks so we could try to do this a little bit more efficiently. And that's what it's all about. So function is number one, obviously. Make sure everything's gonna function properly, look good, but we wanna work and get things done efficiently from an installation standpoint. So we are strapping our boulders, dropping them down into the bottom. This is the easiest way to handle them. Instead of chains and things like that, we use these nylon lifting straps, super strong. They grab onto the rock real well. You can see what Udi's doing right here. It's a continuous loop strap. He looped it around both sides, and then what we do is we create a cinch point right here in the middle, and then we kind of just snug it up and then connect it to the back of the bucket. Little clevis right there, and we are good to go. So that's how it's going to be positioned down on the bottom. Makes it really easy to take the boulder off. So that rock is going to go right on that other side of that. You can see we've already dropped in quite a few over in here. And the excavation is a guideline for us. We let the stones tell us where they're going to go. So we kind of brought it out a little bit, and we're creating these little pockets. And then what we do is we come behind those boulders with river rock or small stone, and that'll create a nice solid base for us. Then we can come in here and set another rock right on top of that, and we're good to go. Over here you can see this is our wetland and filter. See all those aqua blocks in place, 96 aqua blocks, snorkels, centipedes going underneath. And we have our extensions on there, and that allows us to get a little bit more height. Walking directly on top of the aqua blocks. I don't know if I could even see it. Right under in here is our centipede, and that discharges the water into the bottom. If you look at the way these things are built, they have this kind of webbing type of a look to them. It is structural, and then inside here there are multiple support plates. They are also perforated. They have the same type of a webbing. So what happens is the water comes into the bottom of this thing, and then it kind of spreads its way out evenly along the bottom. Now what happens when the water flows through here is it kind of creates turbulence. That turbulence facilitates the sedimentation process, and it also kind of mixes the water, increases dissolved oxygen, which is a very important part of the overall system. Got some good rocks from the front of Kenan's place, all aged, got moss, lichen, and that type of stuff growing out of them. That's some good looking stone. Moving some of the rock from the front over here into the back to stage it. This way we can set up our machine right over in here. We can grab some of those rocks and we can set those down inside this ledge over here. We have that area done right in front of the deck. We went pretty steep right here, but that's because we want this deck to cantilever out, and then it's just gonna drop off. So you could sit right over that deep area, which would be a really neat effect. Setting our rocks down on the bottom, that's about our maximum reach for the machine at this point. So our focus here the rest of the day, we're going to probably reposition our equipment and set it up over in this section here and work our way around that bottom area. So we are wrapping up everything out here over at Kamp Kenan right now. Stockpiling, getting materials ready. We got a lot of stone set already. Got a big giant Fly River turtle cave over here, because they're gonna love to be down there on the bottom. So we're gonna be putting in about 6 inches of a silty sand that's gonna go on the bottom, and that's because those turtles like to kind of burrow themselves in. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed everything that we've been doing out here. If you do like it, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and we will see you soon. Have a great day.